everybody, it's Erin Reed from Erin Makes, and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about all things card swaps, and we are going to be talking about the 2024 Christmas card swap. So jump in, grab yourself something to drink, and if you've been watching live, you understand about the whole snafu, and if you watch on the replay, then welcome, but we're going to roll the intro now. And we fixed it. Yes. Whatever the problem is, we have solved the problems. That is what we're dealing with now. All right. So if you happen to catch this on this live, you'll see that there was tons of fun things. And if you're on the replay, you have no idea what I'm talking about. So that's why you got to come to the lives to see all the crazy stuff that happens. So in this video, we're going to talk about all the fun cards that are coming into the 2024 Christmas card swap. And there is still time for you to join. I'll talk about some of the fun things that is what are the rules and regulations and all that. But the link to join the card swap is down in the info section. But for now, let's jump in and let's check out some of the fun cards from our creators who have sent them in. All right. Whew, that was a lot. We love restarts and redos. Yes. Okay, we'll take a look at this fun one right here. Awesome. All right. Thank you, everybody, for sticking with me and for bearing with all the crazy that just happened. All right, so our first, hang on, our first card. Again, if you watch the replay, you have no idea what I'm talking about. You gotta watch the lives. All right, so when you're on the back of your cards, I would love if you guys put your stamps. I get this is a dark card, and so it's just hard, or maybe it's on here. Oh, no, she did every other one. But this is from Donna. Donna's been doing my card swaps for a long time, and I love this cute card. Gnomes, either love or you hate gnomes. I feel like it's like licorice. It's one of those two things. It's either this or that. It's not like a happy in the middle, and you know, it's one or the other. It's kind of funny. But this little cute gnome, so adorable. Definitely has a whole wintry vibe to the whole thing. Again, it's this little fun fold, which if you've ever done a fun fold, here it is. It's a card that's normal A2 size card. You fold the front flap back in half, and then you add this extra little piece inside, and then you fold it and you glue it. I've done a couple of videos, tutorials on this, and it is just it's just a fun fold card. That's a mouthful. All right, so here we have a couple back crunch. You can add lots of cool, great way to use up some of your colored cardstock. Super adorable cards. And that gnome is so cute. It's a paper piecing gnome, so all these little stars on here have been glued on individually. I love that she's done like an embossing folder with the dots on it to make it look like it's snowing. Can you guys see those little cute dots? That's a fun thing. A little stamp right here. So this is where you can have fun. So when it's closed, it looks like this. And then when you open it up, it has lots of fun little elements. And then people always ask me, where do you write on there? And the option is to write on the back. I've done that numerous times. Or you could leave another little panel like right here. And then when it sits on the desk, or if you put it on a mantle, it has a really cute way of standing up. But having all the fun places to put things, I love that because it feels like it's more of like a little mini book versus just a card, which I think is so much fun. All right, so that's our first one from Donna. Now look at this one. Oh, this one's so cute. Look at these cute little penguins, and she has done some ink blending on here. So here we have, she's gone from a dark blue and then faded it down back to white, so just a little bit of ink blending. Now she's added a stamped "We Wish You Merry Christmas," and she's heat embossed that. She took a white pen and added a bunch of little dots and a little star, like a little cross up there to add like a twinkling star. So super cute. And now we have a stamp set that she stamped, colored, and then die cut out. A couple extra presents, matted with black. So cute. And then a little sentiment on the inside. One of the things that she does all the time, which I think is super smart, is she will pick out sentiments and she will print out her cards on the printer with her fun sentiments inside, and then she'll cut them, fold them in half. And so if she just has plain white cardstock for her card bases, or you could also cut them out and put them in here, it's just an easy way to do an insert for a card by printing out your sentiments if you don't have a fun stamp. And if you have a printer, it makes it really easy. And you know, I highly suggest, I have some printers that I personally love, but that is another super cute one from Donna. She also has this fun one, another great way of doing a fun fold card. So instead of having the entire card fold open, you do a little cut on the sides, you glue down these panels. You can actually tell that they're like just been glued down right there. I'm not gonna rip her card apart, but you get the idea. It's smart to print them, isn't it, right? And then she adds a little colored cardstock here, and then you just have this space. Sometimes if you have a smaller space to work in, versus having, I mean, you just kind of go, okay, well, the panels over here are taken up because they have cute paper. And then you're right here and it's like, okay, where am I working with? And she's done this beautiful poinsettia. It just makes it feel like it's not so daunting to do a card when you only have a smaller space to work in, which is really nice. Now, she's also gone through and heat embossed, or is that, no, yeah, that's heat embossing. At first I was like, is that foil? But it's heat embossing, and it matches the foil for the background here, matches the foil in the side panels, super cute. And then this one is a stamp that she has done in here. Warmest thoughts and best wishes for a wonderful Christmas season. May peace and love and prosperity follow you always. So for those that would like to still join in the card swap, if you're noticing, and I'm going to pull out the next card from Donna, all of the cards are A2 size or smaller, or could fit into an A2 size envelope. An A2 size, if you're outside the United States, it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when it's all folded. So it fits into a standard A2 size cards or envelope. So we don't mail the envelopes to back and forth. So you just send the cards themselves. If you want to put them in the plastic wrap or you want to seal them somehow, you're more than welcome to. I have lots of people that do that. I do pull them out of the plastic for the videos. But then when you come back, you're not getting any envelopes, but you already sent the same size card to me. So it's not a big deal that you got no envelopes because you already had them. And it just saves on cost. I try to keep this as budget friendly as possible. This is not a money making machine for me at all. It's something fun. I'd love to see all the inspiration for the cards. You know, it gives us all something. We all love to card make, and so now it gives us all something to do. It's open worldwide. And if Christmas is not your jam, you can totally do Hanukkah, winter, Kwanzaa, New Year's, anything that kind of fits between the December time frame of holiday season stuff. That's what we're sticking with. We're not doing birthday, we're not doing thank you, we're not doing congratulations or anything like that. We're sticking with like the wintry theme, Christmassy time frame for all of the cards. But anybody is welcome. All denominations are welcome to join. My daughter loves to do them too. So if you're interested in joining the card swap, there is a link down below in the information section. For Instagram, I'm going to put a link on my bio, so you can click on that, but I'm also going to have a code, and it'll be listed in the info section of the video. So if you're watching later on, or you can just jump over to my website. There's a whole page of card swaps that tells you how to join and all that kind of fun stuff. All right. In case anybody's ready. And we still have time to mail the cards in. Plenty of time. And, oh, just as a last bit, if you choose to join, the cards will be all mailed back to you in plenty of time before, I think I have it set for mid of November. So you will have them in plenty of time before December. So if you did want to use these cards to mail out as your Christmas cards, you have, I believe, 5 weeks until Christmas by the time I put them in the mail back to you. So you have time to readdress them and mail them and do all, or just for inspiration for you or for whatever. So I try to give you plenty of time before Christmas hits for you to have them in your hands. Or if you're watching these videos, to inspire you for what to make for your Christmas cards for this year. Lots of options. All right, so here we have another one. I love this. This is called a window pane card. Oh, no, that not window pane card. It's like this faux, oh, there's a name for it, and I'm sure all of you know. Can you guys fill it in? Basically, it's like a faux window pane. It's so simple. So you take a background paper, and it's this one sheet with the Santa and the Christmas trees, and then you cut out little strips of paper. These ones are probably about 1/3 of an inch or maybe 1/4 of an inch big, and you match the strips to go with the same color as the background right here. And then you go, I'm going to go to here, and then you just make a little kind of like a square around it. You frame the element that you have in the center. So it looks like it's a floating, like it's a fractured, maybe it's a fracture card. I think that's what it's called. I always forget the names of cards. Sometimes I just come up with fun names for them for fun, because especially for fun folds, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a back fold, fun fold, 3-fold card, because why not? And it's super, super simple. You can make these floating panel, these strips, any size you want. I've seen them thick, I've seen them thin, I've seen them microscopic. It's really kind of have fun. It's a great way to use your background paper, which we all have tons of cardstock that is printed like pattern paper. I bet we all have a bajillion of them. And it's just, you find an element that can go in the middle. It can be a stamp, it could be a sticker, it could be whatever you like. And then you just pick out a solid color cardstock. Black, white, this one, the red works perfectly, and it looks like it's like a floating fracture card. It's really quite cool. And it's so simple. It really, really is easy. And then she's got the same sentiment as we had from last time. And she does a really cute stamp in the center. Again, that foil on the edge is just super cute. I love that. Just that little shimmery right there. It's awesome. All right. It is a fun card to do if you've never done one that just has a kind of a neat look to it. All right, take a look at this bad boy. I have been wanting to make this card for a while, and I think it's going to be coming up in a class I'm creating soon and showing different ways that you can use this particular design. It is such a neat card. So it sits like this, and when you have it all folded up, it looks like that. It is such a fun one. I think I'm going to call it the triple diamond card. I'm sure there's a name for all of them. Again, I did not create it. I just love this design, and I cannot wait to play around with this. So again, it is an A2 size card, but it's got lots of fun, and this is where you have to do lots of scoring. So it's a little bit more of an advanced fun fold card because you have lots of little scoring pieces on here, and then the whole card folds up. But when it's all folded up, if you're going to compare it for size, it is still the same size as an A2 size card. So it still fits in an envelope, right? And it's pretty cool. The triple diamond, I like that one. I think that's a good ring to it. It is a thicker card, so that might dissuade some people, but it still would fit an envelope, and it just has this really cool wow factor as it sits. And again, people are like, well, where do you write? You can write on the back, you can open up and you can write in here. It's just a really cool card. So having a fun pattern paper here, she left it red on every other section. And then the diamonds or the squares here, she's matted them each with colors, and they nest inside of each other. So one's just a little bit smaller than the next. So when it's all folded up, it really has kind of a cool, I mean, you can see that white border on there. It really is fun. And the fact that she's not done too many crazy colors, because there's already a lot going on in the card, is fantastic, because you really are drawn to the design of the card and not to, oh my God, what's all going on with it? It's just, it's a very cool card. And yeah, I'm keeping this one. I'd make my own cards. Speaking of which, here are some of my cards that are going into the swap. And I talk about making sure that you put your name on the back for a few reasons. So I'm going to get on my soapbox and I'm going to do mine right here with you guys. So some people have stamps. Some people handwrite it on the back. Some people put stickers. Some people, it just depends. So if you've got a stamp, and some people have lots of different stamps. This one is mine that I have. It got given to me from a friend. And it's got my name, and it's got a cute little cupcake on there. And so here's one that I made. I actually have a video. There's 5 cards in this series. It's all using that stamp and spin. Let me show you real fast. So if you're curious, if you've never seen this, if you're wanting to learn more, so this is the stamp and spin. Sizzix came out with this, where you can stamp, and then this little piece right here spins around. And you can take whatever stamps you already have and do fun things and do. The video is all about 5 fun ways to use the stamp and spin to make cards and different techniques for using that, and with all the spin of Christmas cards. And it was using the new Catherine Pooler stamps and stamps, dies, and there was embossing folders. I just worked with the stamps and the dies that she had as a new release that went along with Sizzix. And so this is the first one, and there it is. So this is the first ones. These are going into the card swap. So this is using, you can see the background here is the stamp and spin. That's what made that little wreath element, and then there's got die cut elements on top of it. This is on the first day of Christmas. It's got a little border down here. I've had some pattern paper that she also had come out. So if you've already seen the video, fantastic. If you've not, go check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. And then I just kept it plain on the inside. Added my stamp on the back. And then here is like the traditional way where how you're creating an entire background. So that's one of the other ones. I also used one of the bigger stamps here, just using it as a stamping platform, and then die cut that out. Used the Heartfelt and Handmade, and then created my own background paper with the same Catherine Pooler ink by just inking the edges. So I only did a portion of the paper because you don't see the whole thing. So you just ink the edges, and then it creates a perfect background paper for that. I don't tend to fill in the inside of my cards very well, but that's another one. Here's one where we did a little element on the inside here. So I actually did not stamp going all the way through because you're not going to see it, because I knew I was going to have this element. And again, this is a card that's a different shape, but it still fits within an A2 size card. So it fits in the same size envelope. There's nothing wrong with doing a card that's just a square. So instead of being 5.5 by 4 1/4, it's just a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square, and it works. So we're just playing with the stamp and spin as kind of a background, just purely keeping it in one circle, keeping it very contained, and having that being the element, and then having the background paper. Inking the edges again, even the red here is the same ink. So that was just, again, I ended up doing the whole thing, but it's just being inked with the same color ink as the background. I don't think I did anything inside. No, I didn't do anything in there. That was a very boring card. Here is one where we created our own little backgrounds, and then I cut them up into Christmas trees, again using the Stamp and Spin, and just playing with the different snowflakes and then having fun with the different colors and keeping it very simple. And this one I did put a sentiment on the inside, let it snow. And then again, inked the edges. This time kind of did it a little bit more distressed and more rough and not so solid colored. That's kind of fun, right? And then the last one was just creating crazy background. Not worrying about making it perfectly, layering all the different colors. And the entirety of this one was the 12 days of Christmas. And so there was one stamp for every of the 12 days of Christmas. And I had to think back and remember, okay, on the first day of Christmas. And then I realized once I opened up the stamp set that I didn't have to remember them. She had them all numbered, which was nice. But in the background here is an element to suggest for every single one of the 12 days of Christmas. And so they're all back there. It was using the Stamp and Spin, but not trying to keep any kind of set pattern. It was just totally random and chaos. That was my goal for that. I did put a sentiment on the inside and then had a border and then layered up some more pieces from her dies from there. So all of these are going in there, but I do need, and so since I'm here, all the other ones, but this one, I'm just going to do stamp, stamp, stamp. There, now they're all mine. And they're getting passed on to all of you guys. Whoever gets them. I'd love to see who gets those. All right, next up, we have Katie from Iowa. I love it. We have people from all over the world that join us for our card swaps. They are so much fun. So feel free to join. You just gotta, all the rules are on the info page to join, and the cost and all that stuff. So here she has, again, a great way to use an element that is just a focal point in the center. Lovely blue. Yeah, that's blue, Erin. Red paper in the background with gingham colors. I love this checkerboard. It's not checkerboard, it's gingham. Plaid, but it's like a solid color plaid. And then she's got this element. So this actually, with the little line you see that's going around, so it's got the little cut corners, that's part of this 3x4. She added the stamp right in here. So even this element is on the background. So she just went in and then she stamped Bright and Merry, cut that out so it would fit inside of there. And I probably would do the exact same thing because I'd be afraid I would screw up the stamp and then that whole piece, and she probably only had 2 of them is my guess. So she made it so that it wouldn't get messed up. Smart, smart. If you're not, you can always throw away that sheet and do another one somewhere else. So, and then she has a little element again, printed and stuck inside, which is super smart. So if you don't have the right sentiment, print it out. Christmas memories are the season's most tender gifts. Super cute. All right, we have another set, another great idea. This is also from Katie. So again, those Project Life cards, those 3x4 inch cards, this is just another idea for those. Instead of putting it smack in the middle, line it up to the side and just have a fun little border on the side. Can't get any easier than that. Really use those elements for your benefit because they're already such a cute design. Why mess with it, right? And then she's got another element on the inside again. And then the last one, also using those 3x4s. This is just, again, instead of having it off to the side, she's landed it right smack in the middle and then just paired it with a solid color backstock. Solid colored cardstock in the back. That was a mouthful. Fun one there. All right. Oh, I love these ones. I love all the cards. It doesn't matter what cards they are. These ones are for Marie Butler. Again, she's got her little stamp on the back. It's handcrafted with a little hand. That's fun. All right, so this is a card that actually doesn't open. There's no opening to this card, and they're both the same idea but different. So let's go with what how does the card work? It's got a little pocket. So this little piece comes out, which is super cute, and it does that for both of them. So this one she's left blank. So you could also lend this to have a gift card go in here, or money could go in there because it's got that little pocket. On this one, she did the stamp with a little, with a pine, which is really cute, and then just left it blank on the inside there. And then how she's done the pocket is you just put adhesive here, here, and here, so not in the center, and that's what allows you to slip in inside and out. So she just has a solid sheet of cardstock, one's green, one's red, and then we have an opposite color, just for a little bit different as a smaller border. And then now she's got a pattern paper, and then she's flipped them. So here you can see the gold. That's really bright. So here it's that gold foil. She's flipped it on the other side. So the gold foil's in the back, and then the green's in the front, and here the green's in the back. Here we have a circular pattern. So again, she made sure when she stuck this on, she didn't put any adhesive on the top. It was just in the bottom. A little kind of circle on circle with a sentiment, a little bow and some little dots. Here we have Merry Christmas with a bow and some more little, this time's red dots. red gems. So super cute. Love those. I love it when it's just got a different kind of how does it open? How does it work? It's not just the same old, same old. I love changes in cards because I see lots of cards. I love all cards, but I like ones that go, ooh, that's different. That's not your everyday. Here's another set of cards, also by Marie Butler, and she did these to show fun ways to use scraps in triples. So here we have, and it's, if you notice, the orientation of the card is different. Here we have a vertical, here we have a horizontal. So here she has 3 vertical strips, the center being different than the outside, so same but different. So these were probably leftover pieces from this card because it's the same pattern paper. So this is a great way to use up some of those extra bits, make strips out of them. Again, the circle layers, little dots, love and joy, keeping it simple. And then opening it up, and she has a little strip banner right here, just something fun, right? And then here we have other fun colors of pattern paper. She's inked the edges, again kept it in triplicate. The 2 on the outside are the same, the one in the middle is different. And if you had enough paper, you could always flip-flop it and change it up. Ink the edges of the entire card as well, and then we have a banner across the middle, and that's where she stamped best wishes for a happy holiday. Some little snowflakes, we got some more gems in there, and just keeping it simple. All right, so here is another fun one, a little bit of a different take on the card. Again, similar papers. Here's that gold foil again. She must have had a nice batch of that gold foil paper. It's really stunning. Yeah, Stephanie, it's really pretty, right? So again, a little similar card. I can't talk today. Colors are the same. We have the reds, the greens with the golds, but now the opening is changed again. So still, it's not I can't open the card. Still from Marie, by the way. Glad you figured that out. But here's our opening right here. Boom. And then she put a little extra panel right here so you could write on it. So it's just a little side fold right here, right? And then instead of coming to the side, same kind of concept, but now we have an up fold, and then this is where you write. So it's just a little change, a little something different. Instead of the whole card opening, it's just a little flap, which is really fun. I love fun cards like that. Now this one I have not seen, and I love it. It's like a hint at origami, a fun little something. Again, a great way to use up some of your scraps of paper. She has made a whole bunch of strips. So here, if I'm gonna lay this out, here it is. So we have a rectangle, and then she went and folded the corner, folded the corner. Here's the next rectangle. It's in the background, and then she just fold the corner down, right? You fold the corner down. So when it's all done, look how it lays out. So this is a 2-sided paper. It works best if you have a 2-sided paper. You put them down and you fold your corners. Here's the next one. You fold the corners down. Here's the next one. You fold the corners. It's such an easy thing, but it has such a cool kind of vibe to it. It's so neat. And one of them has that foil to it. But just think about the possibilities for this. I love how she kind of had it going down the side and then just added a simple element right here. And this is just a die cut element. She popped up a little simple Merry Christmas. But what a really cool way to do using up your strips and adding a full fold. And it's got this kind of cool dimension. But when you put it in a card, it lays real flat. Like these can go super flat if you want to. Or you can kind of puff them up a little bit and have like this neat kind of dimensional thing to it. That's another one I'm keeping because I like the dimension to it. It's just one of those like, ooh, that's different, that's cool, that's unique, that's kind of fun, and it's not crazy hard either. So I love that one. And then we have our last couple. So again, keeping it simple. I love how she went from, okay, let's go like super crazy fun folds, or let's have weird ways to open it, and then she's like keeping it simple, which is great. I love all the different levels of cards and all the different ways cards are made. And I love these videos in particular because there's a card for everybody. I feel in every one of the videos I make. Some of them are more complex, some of them are more simple, and we all are at different levels. And sometimes I want to make a super easy card, and sometimes I want to make a super complex card. It just depends. So here we have a background of red, and then we have, so we have two, yeah, I'm trying to feel. What'd she do? Yeah, so we have 3 strips of paper. I thought maybe this red was part of attached, but it's the striped paper, then we have red, and then we have this green with the floral on it right here. So 3 strips all glued down next to each other, and then we have this giant banner with a fishtail that she stamped on the Merry Christmas and then the holly with the berries. So keeping it really, really simple. You can't find Make It by... I would just do Google. I have it listed somewhere. If you go in, I know exactly where the link is. It's kind of, sorry, it's directing you to another video of mine, but I know I put the correct link in there. So I put a link in there. She's asking, because we were talking about this before the whole snafu, if you're watching on the replay, this was from the original video, what this little machine is right here. So I had a video of my top 5 products for 2023, my top 5 card making products. That was mentioned as one of them, and I have the link to the company in there. So if you go back into my YouTube channel and look at my edited videos, not my live videos, but my actual just as videos at the top of my homepage, you'll see one for like top 5 card making supplies for 2023. That is one of them. So you can see that in there, and I have a link directly to that company there. So I know that link is in that video. That might help you. And it probably might be one, or you could also just do a Google search, but I know I have a direct link, and I specifically talked about that particular product in that video if you want to learn a little bit more about it. So there you go. All right, that was our last one from Mori. Oh, let's open it, see if there's anything in there. Nope. Sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. All right, I'm gonna go back into one that we did chat about briefly at the very beginning of the video, these ones, but we're editing all that out. Here we go. So here we have some cute ones. These ones are by Sarah. So cute background papers. Here she has basically flip-flopped the colors. So they're opposites from one to the other. Gorgeous background papers for both. Here we have little snowflake. Here we have the poinsettias or poinsettias. I think that's a potato kind of thing, depending on where you live. And then we have these beautiful die cut elements. So it's using all the fun elements of paper. There's no stamping, there's no ink blending. It's all about using the colors of the paper and paper piecing all the different colors together and gluing them all. Having the banner in the middle that really separates the background of the card. She did add a small red background to this rectangular card. Here she did a little bit of a white one. Here she added Happy Holidays to the top. Here she's done top and bottom. Just a little bit something different. I love that. And then on the inside, which I did not open up earlier, and then here we have green and we have stamped sentiments on the inside. Same thing. Oh, nope, here she did red. I love that. A little bit different, a little bit different. Here is, instead of doing a small rectangular card, here we have square cards. Again, big background, bold paper. Here we have snowflakes. And then here we have our floral, and then we have our square, both matted with red. Here we have a mat at the bottom, letting the card do its own thing, and here we have a stamped sentiment at the bottom. Keeping the same theme and idea as that, she also did one with what I call the large Project Life cards, the big rectangular cards, matted again with white. This one she didn't. She has a little bit of a white border, but it's not as wide. It's just kind of narrow. And again, background paper here, a bigger white one because the backgrounds are the same, but here we have a banner around the bottom just to kind of separate it. Here there's a banner in the middle. So just all kinds of fun and different. When I forgot to open, this one's got a blue insert. This one's got a blue, and then square ones I forgot to open. Red and, oh, blue again. It's like you never know what you're gonna get. It's like magic, what's gonna happen here? All right, I am a sucker for gems. Take a look at this one. Look at the pretty gems. So, whoops, this one's handcrafted by Kathleen McDowell. I love it. Oops, and I had it upside down. I had it like this, which would still work, but she has it like this. I don't think there's a wrong way to do the card. You can flip it whichever way you want. So she has a stamp that's a wreath, or if you've got one of these, you could make your own wreath just by having any kind of floral, and you just stamp it into that wreath pattern if you don't have a wreath already. That's a little bit of what the Stampin' Spin can do. Like, that's just scratching the surface about what that tool can do, but it is basically a wreath builder or a circular builder of kinds, but there's lots of stuff you can do with that. It's really fun. Oh, somebody posting the video for me? Thank you. About the thing in the back. There it is. All right, so then she's gone in with her wreath and added all in these fun gems. I went through a phase, I will have to say, where I would go into Michael's and there was two things. I could not seem to walk out of Michael's without buying one or both. And this is when they really had their dollar bins. And this is aging me because it feels like they don't have these supplies as much as they used to. Michael's was really big into having a lot of scrapbooking stuff for a time, and then it got really heavy into card making, and they had like paper flowers and they had gems, and I felt like I was either buying out of the dollar bin paper flowers, gems of any kind, swirls, just rows of dots or pearls or sticky, like they were on sticker sheets. And I just, if I saw them, I was like, oh, that's a new color. I need to get 5 because there's 5 colors in this bin and they're $1 each. So I had to get those. The paper flowers. And the other one was, they had little dollar ink pads. They were chalk inks. I got every single color I had of those. They're all bad now. I think the bling is still decent because I can always add more adhesive. The flowers are fine. But I have more than I know what to do with. So great way, if you've got bling, what a wonderful idea. You could even do, if you had like a Christmas tree stamp, the bling would act as your ornaments. So super smart on that. And it just, I don't know, it's bright, it's cheery, it's fun. It just is hitting all of the notes for me in terms of making me smile with the blingy. It does have a little bit of an element of like it wouldn't be able to lay flat in an envelope, so to mail this would be difficult because it would catch on the envelope. But I would hand deliver this sucker because it's cute and it's shiny and pretty. All right, so on my little soapbox for that, black, white, keeping it simple. Again, black matte on the 'Tis the Season to Be Merry, and on the inside she's just done another white, so you can write on the inside of that. Super cute. And this one's again by Kathleen. Here's another one. We all have chipboard. Well, maybe not all of us, but I, at least, I'm going to speak for myself, have chipboard that's got Christmas designs. I've got stickers with Christmas designs. I have die cuts with Christmas designs. It probably has a pattern paper that goes with it. And I have hoarded all that crap for years. And such a cute way to use some of those elements. Here, for her, it happens to be stockings, but imagine a Christmas tree sticker, imagine a wreath, imagine any kind of, it could be a penguin, a gnome, any of those things. So here we have all of those. And then she's at a simple sentiment here. Look like it's kind of like a border with having her dots, another pattern paper, or 2 pattern papers in the background that match in with the elements that are already on the front, and just keeping it simple. A nice easy stamp right there just to kind of tie it all together. Really cute. Yeah, the bling can totally be used as shaker bits. You just have to take the sticky off the back if they're already sticky ones, and then just a little something on the bottom there. A little bit of paper at the bottom. All right, here's another fun one. I love these. So here's a card that has a fun different fold to it. So she's take the front of the card and just cut off part of it. So your stamp is coming from what's on the inside of the card. So when it opens, it just opens like that. Easy peasy. So now you're only dealing with this. Couldn't remember the name of it, but there it is. Ballerina Blender Brush Caddy. That is what that is right there. And this one's got 1, 2, 3 tiers to it. So you could actually tier it up. I can't add a 4th one because I would run out of room, and I like it there because I use it quite a bit. But there you go. So she's got a poinsettia background here, and then we have our die cut poinsettia. This is out of paper. This one happens to be a giant sticker. They both work great. A couple of different sentiments. She did it on a green cardstock background, and just super cute, right? Adorable. This one, oh my goodness. So I was like, oh, I know what this card is. It's just one of those book fold cards where you stick the end together and it opens up. And I was like, oh, this is way more than that. So at first I had to feel the card, and I was like, there's some thickness to this. It's not just super thin. And so let's talk about the front, and then I'm going to show you the inside, because it was like one of those oh, wow moments. So it's a book fold card where basically you're going to come in and you put, and this is right where the ribbon is, you score mark that and you glue this end together. So the amount of the card that opens is just from right here over. So it doesn't open up the entire way. She added a pattern paper right here, whole pattern paper, and then she went diagonal with the word Merry Christmas and then a bow. And then this is where it gets fun. All right, you ready? You ready? I got to prepare you guys, because this, I have not seen this yet. And if you're looking for a card / mini book, almost like a mini brag book, this is like the combo that you will love, and it's just a little bit different. So here we go. I had to prep you for that. It's cool, I promise. All right, so we open up like a normal card. You're like, it's a normal card. But wait, there's more. So happy holidays, keeping it simple. Now we go up, and we have an element that you can write on here, right? And then we have this, and you go there. You're like, oh, but there's more. And it goes down. Look at that. It just opens up to being this massive thing. See, and she's used this beautiful pattern paper, so pretty. Here we have a sentiment. Look at this gorgeous paper. Great way to use pattern paper. And then to fold it up, you just go boom, boom, and boom. Look at all the fun places you can add. You could put a stamp here. You have so many fun places. You could put a picture there. You could put something here. There is so much fun you can have with this card. And this is just a square, and you have cut one end, score, score, score. And truly, you just score, and then take your scissors and cut that, and glue one set down, and then just fold it up. That is the cutest thing in the world. I love that. Anybody else just went, oh, that's fun? I did. That's a cool card. I think I'm gonna have to keep that one too. Again, I like ones that are a bit different. I'm a bit different in that way. All right, so we've just seen a variation of kind of what this card is. It's a take of the same card, but this one's got a little bit of something different here. The grandkids would like this because there's something, it's interactive, and they can do something with it. This is not a card you can put up. Well, I guess you could. Yeah, you could put it on your mantle. It would still fit on a mantle. I think it would work great that way. But pictures inside, you know, it's like a mini brag book, but it's small enough that it fits an envelope you can mail. So it's not a huge deal, and it's something like to cover. Like I could see, I'm going back to this one again. Like if you had a vacation, it'd be perfect for that. If you had, you know, like for somebody's birthday and you had some pictures of them in there, you know, it's something different, or it's just a fun way to use up more of your supplies that you have to create a more fun card by using pattern. Like I love to use up supplies. Now that I have so much of it, I want to use it. And there's nothing like the satisfaction of going, I finished that entire paper pad, or that ink is dry. I've used it so much, it's gotten dry. I have to use my re-inker that I bought with it now. Yay! Anybody else get grins and giggles on that stuff? I do. All right. So same card, but two different ways of using it. So here we have a front flap. There we go. So this is just your standard card. What she's done, just like we did, she showed in this particular card, where you just chop up the side, same thing, you chop off the side, and then she's put another element on back now. So instead of having it just chop off and put your stamp, she's added a square element, only glued it to one side, and added a fun piece on the front. So here we have the same reindeer. Here she's stamped and die cut. Actually, it's a different one. Here's the buck and here's the doe. But this one she did in this really pretty glitter paper. I love that. I love how she's done two different sets of trees as kind of the background there. So pretty. Hi, Susan. And then here we have our pattern paper. And then now we open it, and then she has another pattern paper in there. So you can see it's only been glued down for a portion of the card. Now what's different about this one is she added a triangle pattern right here, and the card tucks into that. So she created like a little tuck for it to fold into. So it kind of holds flatter and it doesn't fly open. So this one she mounted with foam dots. I don't know if you guys can see that, but she's got little foam dots in here. So this is kind of three-dimensional, this top square. But on this one, she just glued it flat. And so it wouldn't fly open. It has another fun element, which is that triangle piece that she's just glued all the edges, and then this piece tucks right in. So, you know, it could sit on your mantle like that, or you can have it when it mails, just kind of fold right in there. I love cards that are just a little different. Again, just kind of fun. A little something, something there. So really cool. And again, those are also by Kathleen. All right, our next one. For those of you who've been here from the beginning, you've seen this, but remember we did a redo on this, so we're gonna recover, because I don't know if you guys could hear what I was saying in the first place anyway. Hopefully we're still, nobody's mentioned anything about sound, so I'm guessing we are still good on sound. And for those that have just joined, whew, you missed a fun intro, I tell you what. All right, so here we have our normal A2 size card that she's cut on the long ways, and then in the middle, all you do is fold back the center. Pattern paper here, she added a circle element, and she's matched the colors of the circle element to go with the pattern paper. Somebody said something about the fact that it was from Stampin' Up, and it's just a die cut element. I love that she's placed it in the middle of the snowflake. What I didn't mention before, if you watched from the very beginning, or maybe you couldn't hear me, the purple that's on here, this little lavender color here, she's actually embossed it, so it's got like little dots to it, and then the circle in the background has this kind of cool, like, rigidity. It's not a perfect circle, it's got a little bit of texture to the outside of it, which is great. And then we have our little fox right there, and then Merry Christmas on the inside. If you've never done a fun fold card and you've always been like, oh, what's a good one to this is a perfect one to start with, because it's your standard card, and then you fold back, and then you build from there. And then when it sits like that. I've also seen them where it's been tall, so it's the same concept but tall. And these ones are made from Nina. Really cute cards. Glad the sound is better, because that was just a nightmare and a half. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for those that stuck through all the crazy sound crap at the beginning. Thank you. You were amazing. And thank you for helping me problem solve that until we got to where it was good, because otherwise I would not know and I just would have kept on rolling, and then I would have gotten off the video, went back and listened to it and went, holy crap, that's crap. And that's no fun whatsoever. So thank you again for everybody who stuck with and helped me get through that crazy beginning of the video, because that was nuts. All right, back to the cards. All right, so here we have, oh, look at these two beautiful cards. Look at this. Look at the shimmer shine. These ones, yes. Oh, so somebody was asking, what is the name of that card? It's a Z card. Yes, it's a Z fold card or a back fold, fun fold card. You know, I think the names of these cards have been invented by people that didn't know what to call it. So the Z comes from when it's kind of folded, it looks like the letter Z, right? So it has that kind of look to it. I call it a back fold card because you fold it back. It's whatever you want to call it. Truthfully, I mean, I feel like I would call it one thing one day and then next week I'd call it something different because that's the term that popped in my head. So I don't think there's any defined term for some of these cards, except for ones that like the gatefold, that one's pretty, or like the belly band. I think those are pretty standard now, but anyway. All right, look how fun. These ones are from Kaylee. I love Kaylee. She makes such cute cards. And she sends them in all the time, and I know she puts so much hard work into them, and she is adorable. I love it. So here we have pattern paper within the stripe paper, same pattern paper as the background, just keeping a little bit of a different border. Now we have our bells, and then on top of that we have our strings of ornaments. So she's done a big one, a small one, a couple of tiny ones, and then here we have a love, joy, believe, and she put them in a couple of different places. Some ribbon up top, so it looks like the ornaments are hanging, keeping with all of these fun card colors. Love that. And then just plain on the inside. But I love how she's done all of her border colors. Those are really pretty. Must have come from the same pattern paper set because the colors match perfectly. I love pattern paper packs for that reason. All right, here we go. Also from Kaylee. Great way to use, again, keeping it simple and just focusing on one element of the card instead of having to think of everywhere. You know, you don't have to fill the entire space of the card. Having empty space is amazing. So here we have a square. She's punched out the center circle and added an element. Happens to be hot chocolate. I'm going to go with hot chocolate, but maybe it's something more fun. Who knows? And then we have our little elements down here, a stamp, our little gems. Excuse me, I'm going to cough for a minute. Sorry about that. Little snowflakes. I love how she added her little fun gems there. And then just standard opening on the inside. Matted it with a little bit of red. I love the polka dots. So cute. Great way to use that. Fun way to like make your circle, you know, as you're, instead of having a circle, you cut it out and then have your focal element inside of there. Crafters are amazing about helping each other out, I will have to say. Okay, I love this card. It's so simple. It totally hits the Christmas vibe. You know we're talking about Christmas when you see Christmas lights like this. And there's so many ways you can do it. Sorry, I'm not used to talking this much. It's been a while since I've had a live. So you can take just a black pen and go woo and have some fun. And then you can Cricut cut these. You can find dies that are these ornaments. You could find a punch that has the ornaments. You could fussy cut them out. There's so many ways. I love that she's done all kinds of fun colors. You could do them in shimmery paper. You can do them in cardstock. You can do them in foil paper. You can do them in glitter paper. So many different ways of doing that. And just keeping it simple. You don't even need a sentiment on there because you know the screams Christmas. And I think that's great. Also from Kaylee. And then she has it going this way, but you know, I don't know which ones they're on. You could have it go either direction. You could put a little sentiment like right there if you wanted. I think you could also do a sentiment like right here, or it doesn't matter. Just keeping it easy. I like how she's done the black on there to really tie in with the cord. So fun, right? Christmas lights and foil paper. That would be fun, right? But I also say use what you got. Use what you got. All right, look at this. I love the colors on this. And just the foil on here is just popping in so many fun ways. And it's not a scream out loud. It's a muted, very pretty kind of like a matte foil color. It's really pretty. So here she's got the background of her card, which is this plaid right here, which is in the foil. Then she's matched that with gray. The gray is perfect for this card. So here we have a gray liner. We have another cardstock with the foil, and here we have a little hint of silver. Snowflake matted with the circle so it really can pop and so you can see that foil. Couple of reindeer here matted on the gray in the center. And then here she did, instead of the foil, or the snowflake being in gold. She did it in blue, and truthfully, I can't tell which one I like better. I think they both are really pretty, and they both kind of hit the mark. I could also see you doing it in, like, she could have done it in silver to match the silver there. I think it works really pretty no matter what. Or because she could have done it in gray to match in with the gray. And this one here, this is a matte gray, and here she did kind of like a shiny gray for the paper on this. But they're just, those reindeer are awesome. They feel, no, they're just paper. They're just paper. And then she foam popped them up. But perfect little reindeer. Oh my goodness. Very elegant cards. Very elegant cards. And this, now we're going to fun, bright, and cheery. I love it. She has so many different cards. And again, I can't show, she sent in 20 cards, and each, she did 2 pairs. She did 10 different pairs. I usually show 5 to 6 cards per person, unless the person only made 1 set of cards. And that's a question I get all the time. Do I have to make all my cards the same? No, you can make them identical, or you can make every single card different. Or you, like she did them in pairs. So she did 10 different pairs of cards, and every single one of her pairs was like a totally different vibe, which I'm like the complete ADHD crafter, which is why I love card making, because I don't want to do the same thing over, even though it's card making, it's like, oh, it's the same. It's not the same thing, because you could do this technique here, you can do that technique there, I'm going to use that product here, I can do mixed media, or I can just do paper pasting, I can use my Cricut, I can use a stamping wheel, I can use whatever I want. And so every card's going to look a little different. It's not always the same thing. So I tend not to recreate the same kind of card over and over. To mass batch one card of 20 of the same card, oh heck no, I can't do that. But some people are like, I got my one design, that's what I'm doing, and all 150 of my cards going out that year are the exact same card. I'm like, oh, I could not do that. Whatever floats your boat, whatever you can do for you, that's great. I love that she went in so many different directions, because that just speaks to me and my kind of crafting. All right, so we're ending with fun, bright, and cheery, which I think is fantastic. So here we have this fun, it looks like gingerbread. We're all hitting like happy vibes, gingerbread. And then we have these fun cookies. Then we have more pattern papers, little gingerbread men that she stamps. Have a sweet Christmas. These totally hit that sweet vibe and just so much fun. I love this. And then you're the icing to my gingerbread. Such a fun sentiment. Oh, so many amazing cards. Oh my goodness. So if you missed any of the video, if you jumped in the middle somewhere, just take a look at all the beautiful cards all of our crafters made, all of our card makers made. There's still time to join into the card swap if you want to be a part of it. And if you don't, if you just enjoy coming and getting inspiration from these fun videos for getting ideas for folds to make, techniques to use, ideas for using up your bling, for, you know, how to use some of your pattern paper, for like just concepts for design, or, you know, fun ways that you can open up and fold a card that's different, great ways to use your scraps, you know, how to do, there's so many fun things. I'm throwing my cards into the ring for this using the stamping wheel. Fun techniques, fracture cards here. Oh my goodness, so many fun cards. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. This is just one video of many that are coming related to the 2024 Christmas card swap. There is still time to get your cards in. I say October 24th. I think it's the 24th. It's either October 24th or 25th. If I give me 2 seconds, I can pop up on my screen. If I can find my website on my other 2 seconds and have a look. It's on my website, but I'm just popping over real fast. So if you go to my website, the link is down in the information section. The cards are due to me by October 25th. I was close, October 25th. Cards are due by October 25th, meaning that you need to have them in the mail by October 25th. They don't have to be to me, but if you were international, hang on. I need a sip of water, which I'll get in a minute. If you are international, so if you're mailing them in, I've had people from Canada, I've had people from the UK, Australia, Bermuda. Just keep in mind, it's going to take a little bit longer, so back it up about 5 days just to give it time. I am going to be doing the videos all through then. I really need to have a sip of water, but there's nothing close to me right now. I have not talked this much in a long time. And I'm looking to see if I have a cough drop, but I don't. So we're just going to hang with it. So just watch the time. I will have all of the cards in the mail back to you guys by November 15th. I still want to have time to showcase all of the amazing card makers in videos. So just keep in mind that I have October 25th, but then it still might take 5 or 6 days for all the cards to get to me, and I still want to do videos on those cards. But in the meantime, I will start swapping them around, and some batches might go out sooner than that. But they will all be in the mail by the 15th, which means you will have them, as long as you're in the US, before the 1st of December. That is my goal. So that's why all of that. Prices and everything are all listed on the website. So if you want to head over to the website, I can share that real fast. Oh my goodness, I am so sorry about all this coughing. And yeah, I gotta remember how to do this. It's been a while since I've been on this. Since I did my retreat, it's been a hot minute since I have been. Here it is, present. All right, we are going to share screen just so everybody can see. There we go. So here you can see all of the fun cards, and I'm gonna put this on full screen here for everybody. And there we go. All right, so going back to the top of the page. So here is the landing page for the card swaps, which is the link that's down in the information section. It tells you this is how to join. We have a Facebook group. So if you wanna, we share inspiration. The videos are posted there too. So if you just wanna kind of be all part of all things card making and have other like people, and there's people that have been in the card swap group for a number of years. They can help answer questions. Depending on how many cards you're doing, if you're UK, Canada, Australia, or if there's USA, depending on the cards, here are what the ones you're gonna pick. So just make sure you pick the appropriate one. Shipping is included. So what is included with this price? This is basically the price to mail them back to you. So an envelope, the shipping costs, all the stuff for me to sort them and all those things, to print out the mailing labels, because I do all that from the house. That's what the coverage costs. To go to my P.O. box, pick it up, so it covers the gas. I'm not making money on this, it's just to cover the basic costs. And then due by October 20th, so you have to put it in the mail by October 25th. I will post them back by the 15th of November. And then all the different things that you can include in the card swap. And then there's more details and more information right there. And then I do also have a spreadsheet. So for those that you want to see this. So this is the spreadsheet, so you can see where it's all about. So if you have cards that you want to send in, you fill this out. That's what it says for swappers to fill in. So you can fill in your name, you can fill in, people are putting their email address, but truly it's supposed to be like if you've got a social media link, if you want me to give you a shout out back on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, that's what that link is for. But everybody seems to be putting their email addresses in for whatever reason. And then here we have how many cards you plan to be sending in, and then if you've got a tracking number, and then also what date you sent it. So that way I know, oh yeah, there should be cards in my P.O. box. Then I fill this in with the date that I picked it up, and then the date of what video you're in. So that is where all that comes from. So I try to be as transparent as possible about like, my name's on the list. I'm not part of the card swap. You absolutely are, as long as you pay for the return shipping and the cards get to me. And if the card packages get to me and your name is not on the spreadsheet, then I add it. Actually, my son adds it because he works for me. But he's in college and it's his side gig job. He works 5 hours a week. It's how he's making his gas money, is by helping mom. So, and learning some business savvy sense. So if you see some things coming down the line where there's been some oopsies and some newsletters and emails or things, he's learning the ropes. I'm trying to get him to understand what it's like to have your own business. And so anyway, I have my first official hire of my son, which is totally fun. He's been helping me a little bit on and off, but we've actually established like a true schedule this time. All right. So thank you everybody so much for watching, and thank you for everybody who was at the beginning of this, through all the crazy when we were live. If you're on the replay, don't worry about it. It was just a sound issue. But for everybody who is here helping, I truly, truly appreciate it. And I know it probably made it a much better experience on your end, having not so crazy sound and you could actually hear me clearly. I will solve this problem before next time about I don't start off with crazy sound, because that was weird. It was very weird. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody. Thank you for joining again. And if you want to join the card swap, join the card swap, and don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll check everybody later. Bye.